Welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm so happy you're here. I'm your host, Lady JB Owen, and it's a pleasure to be chatting with you today about ways to ignite humanity. Yes, each and every one of us should be igniting humanity in our own unique way because we have the power to ignite our lives and ignite the lives of others. We love having you watch the show because we are guaranteed to give you some new ideas and some strategies on how you can ignite humanity. And it starts with igniting your life, stepping into your possibilities, doing what is available to you. And we bring guests on the show to talk about that because each and every one of us has what I love to call an ignite moment. That ignite moment changes us and defines us. It redefines us and it opens us up to new opportunities. And through those amazing ignite moments, we step into a greater version of ourselves. And ultimately, we do something that impacts our lives and becomes a ripple effect in impacting the lives of others. And we want to talk about that with you. I was feeling like it's a great day in the neighborhood, a little bit of fun and excitement in my heart. And I want you to feel the same. I want you to realize that in your neighborhood, you have greatness. You have an opportunity to impact people right in your community. And you want to feel like it's a great day in the neighborhood because when you exude that, it becomes contagious and people feel the same. They feel like it's a great day in the neighborhood. And can you imagine if everyone in your neighborhood was feeling like it was a great day? How different would our lives be? How different would the neighborhood be? How different would the vibration be? And truly, one of the pieces of igniting humanity is raising the consciousness and the vibration of each and every one of our lives. And that is why we do this show. And that's why we invite incredible guests to be a part of what we're doing. Now, if this is your first time here, well, welcome. But if you would like to catch up on all of our episodes, come on over to our website. We have all of our episodes free and available to you. That's my service. I want everyone to have access to this information, and we make everything accessible and free to you. It's just so easy. Go and sign up, and you can see over 90 shows and guests talking about ways to ignite humanity. All right, well, let's meet today's fantastic guest. Stephen Posner is an entrepreneur, advisor, biohacker, father, and adventurer. After decades of experience as an entrepreneur, advisor, and investor, Stephen is now focused on his core passion, teaching leaders inner skills for greater impact and fulfillment in business and in life. And through resilient leadership programs and retreats, Stephen helps leaders tap into innate neurological and physiological functions to reduce stress, accomplish more, and live truly fulfilled lives. I love that part. Stephen has worked with Google, SAP, YPO, and one of the leading wellness clinics in the world. He's a fantastic individual. I adore him. And he's coming to us all the way from Portugal. Welcome, Stephen, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Well, I love different voices and different aspects and different viewpoints. You have a very unique viewpoint. You're teaching, you're coaching, you're sharing with people. You love the word resilience. Can you talk to me a little bit about what resilient means for you and how possibly resilience is really going to help ignite humanity?
Well, I sort of feel that people misunderstand the true essence of resilience. So when you ask someone, what does it mean to be resilient? What is resilience? They talk about, bouncing back from adversity, having challenge and being able to pick yourself up. And I think that's wrong. I think it's the wrong approach. It's the classic definition. For me, resilience is about having a totally different relationship with adversity. If you think about any challenging moment that you've had in your life, either personal or professional, and if you have a healthy relationship with that event, regardless of how traumatic, you look back and you say, it was tough, but I grew, I became wiser, smarter, stronger, a better person out of that. So challenge makes us better, except when we're faced with a new challenge, a new adversity, we sort of feel a little bit deer in the headlights and a bank of fog, when we should be saying, wait a second, there is something for me here. There is a lesson. I just need to ask the questions. What am I supposed to learn? How am I supposed to grow? So imagine if we lived in a world where we broke the polarity of good and bad. There's only good and grow. So whenever something is not going the way you'd like it, there's just something there to grow you. So that's my view on resilience. I sort of feel if people can break out of this polarity, suddenly bad is not seen as bad. Bad is seen as an opportunity to grow, to do something better, to improve. And it's an important fundamental mind shift.
Yeah, I really like that a lot because you're right. People do see resilience as like the push, the endure, the butt up against. What you're saying is that resilience is really about reflection and learning and growing from some of the things that you have been through. And why wouldn't we want to do that instead of just push through, ignore, kind of brush it under the table, or just bulldog our way through it? It's actually quite valuable to sit back and say, what was this here to teach me? How could I grow from this? What should I do differently? Are there some steps that people can go through when they face a challenge to help them be more resilient for the next time?
Absolutely. The first thing, and this is what I say in all the retreats, is do nothing. Stop, pause, breathe, gather yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to see the situation that you're in from a different light with a little bit less of a charge. So stop and pause. The second thing, feel what you need to feel. Sometimes there's a tendency to repress, to push down, or to get entangled and trapped in negative patterns. And if you just open the space and allow them to feel, allow them to be and honor them, they actually start to dissipate. And that starts to get rid of some of this fog and opens the space. And then after that, you can start going into different modes of reframing, different modes of getting other perspectives, other counsel. And then there's a bunch of different techniques that you can start to apply to do that.
It's good advice because a lot of us, when we're in that sort of fight or flight or we're in reactionary mode, we kind of ramp ourselves up and we get more charged or more frantically trying to fix or trying to do. I really like what you say about stop and breathe for a couple of reasons. One, obviously it's helpful, but I know you love science and you love, a lot of, as you said, neurological. There's something that's happening to the body. There's some chemicals and things that are happening to the body when you do that can assist you in learning. Can you speak about that?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I think one of the most challenging concepts when I'm doing these retreats and working with these executives is get them to really understand how the brain creates reality. That the brain is not something that's like a camera that captures reality as it is. It overlays a narrative. I don't want to get too technical into the neuroscience of it, but basically you're projecting onto the world a meaning into the information that you're perceiving. So you have a tremendous amount of agency if you can see what are your belief systems, what is your past experience that is leading you to interpret a situation with one particular vantage point, a reality, but not the reality. So being able to understand and have some insight in how you construct reality in your world and to what degree you're doing it automatically or you're doing it because there's a different way you want to sort of experience life. And then the second part is what you touched on, which is the nervous system. And ultimately, it is the fear response and all of the elements of it around doubt, uncertainty, worry, like all of the little cousins of fear that sort of cloud our ability to see through the fog because the body goes into defense. And this is ancestral. This goes back to the way we evolved. We went out, and if we were out hunting, all we cared about was to catch what we're going to hunt and to not get eaten by something. So we just focus on those things, and that's how the brain works. It focuses on what you think you want to do. And here's a little fun test that maybe your audience might enjoy, and it takes 10 seconds to do, and I love to do this, that I tell people, okay, look around the room, and I'll ask you to do it for 10 seconds and count squares and rectangles. Okay, so count squares and rectangles for 10 seconds. Go. Okay, so my question to you is, how many circles did you see?
Oh, well, actually none except the one that's right in front of me from the ring light. But I saw 37 squares.
And if I tell you now count circles, you're going to see a bunch of circles. So what happens is your brain focuses on what you think you're interested in, either consciously or subconsciously. So it crafts that reality
Mm,
based on what you're thinking and what you're believing. And so when your nervous system gets triggered, you're then in survival mode, making it a lot more difficult to see different perspectives. So one of the really powerful things is that breath is a incredibly powerful way to regulate your nervous system, to take you out of a stress response, to calm you down, to bring you back into a place of recovery, of rest. And all of the chemicals go down, all the cortisol, the adrenaline, all of the neurotransmitters that are kind of putting you in defense mode calm down. And that creates a shift. So, ironically, a lot of people try to solve problems with their brains versus use your body a little bit. Get yourself out of a state that is limiting your ability to see solutions, because that's the way we're wired when we're in sort of the fear response mode. Change your state and then come back to the situation. That's where the pause is so important, because the pause gives you the opportunity to grab the moment and shift it.
mm. And would you say, like, and I love that because I'm a big intellectual person. That's the facts. What's the data? What do we need to do? What connects the dots? And yet I do exactly what you say. What is the feelings that I need to feel? What are the feelings that I'm having right now? What are the feelings that I prefer to have? What is the emotion that is surrounding this? What would my heart want? And it takes some practice for sure. Is there any protocol that you would share that people can remind themselves, because we as you said, we habitually go into that response mode, try to think ourselves through it versus sort of settling into, would you say it's intuition? Would you say it's practicality? Would you say it's more the soul journey? Just going a little bit out on the fringes?
So I think it's a mix of both. First of all, I like to break all the binary thinking of mind versus heart or rational versus intuitive, because I think it's all part of a system. So there are times where you want to be very cognitive, and there's other times where you want to be very soul centered and very intuitively focused and combine those two perspectives. Um, so a couple simple techniques that I use is, first, in terms of breath, one of the most effective ways to just relax your nervous system in a couple minutes is slow, deep breathing in through the nose, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. That just calms down the nervous system. And you also then gave a little perspective of, if you calm yourself down and then just put yourself into a feeling state of, I can do this or I can solve this, even if it's imaginary, all it takes is a little bit to break the process. So it's a little bit of a game. So if you find yourself, the biggest thing is get into the habit of stopping. Short pause. Then being able to check in with yourself enough to say, okay, I need a minute of just, okay, so where do I want to be? Okay, I want to feel that I'm solving this. Great. What's one step I can do? Okay, pull out a white piece of paper, give yourself 60 seconds and write as many solutions as you can. Break the pattern. All you're doing is breaking a thought pattern to then open a different way of processing.
It's so wonderful. Today's Thursday. We're all talking about solutions. It's the theme of the day. And these are some really great solutions, because many people feel like, I have to spend a lot of money. I have to change everything. I need to do, all of this practice. And what you said is just really key solutions that anybody can do immediately, solve a problem, change the pattern. Let's shift a little bit and talk about how effective this could be for humanity, because I know a lot of us are taking data in. A lot of us are feeling overwhelmed. Many of us are in fight or flight just in our daily routines. I feel like this protocol is really helpful for humanity on a larger scale. Can you speak a little bit to that? Since the show is about humanity, I really love to round out how everyday things that we can do impact others.
So I think the most important thing is edit out everything that is not serving you. If you go back to the squares and circles type of thing, there is so much noise. Your attention is your most precious resource. And we're letting other things determine where our attention goes. So editing out information, editing out people, editing out situations that put you in a place that don't get you where you want to go. And just becoming a little bit more conscious that it really, people talk about that time is the most limited resource. I actually think attention is, because if you become a master of your attention, you become a master of your time. And everybody lives 24-hour days. Nobody has more time than anybody else, but it is with the attention. So if people are able, if humanity could pause and stop and say, okay, who's pulling my attention? And do I want to give them that power over me? Or do I want to regain that power and choose where I want to deploy my attention?
It's such a good practice. You know that I love to go cycling, and many times I cycle for days at a time. I'll turn my phone off. I won't be on social media. I won't be on emails. And I'm absolutely fascinated how the world keeps going and my world keeps continuing when I'm not plugged in to what I think is the reality of what I should be paying attention to. And more, I'm learning how to, as you said, edit. And I like to say, sort of like preciously preserve my energy, my time. Even the other day, my kids wanted me to watch a movie, and I watched the trailer, and it was, a bit dark and macabre. And I was like, you know what? I just don't want this in my brain. Thank you very much. And how important it is, that editing process, for the good. It's not like you're missing out on anything. You're actually doing yourself a good favor or doing yourself goodness. I know that you have a lot of practices. You like to take people out in nature. You like to do some adventures. Can you talk a little bit about the power of outdoors and being outside?
So it's what you said in the softer versions. Then I can talk to you about the more extreme versions. But in the softer versions, it's disconnection. It's disconnecting from the information flow that's coming through your phone, through your computer, through your agenda, the meetings, the obligations, and suddenly you regain control of your time, and you start to open space for your own thinking, your own elaboration. And sometimes not thinking about something, that pause, that space actually creates space for new thinking to emerge. I was actually thinking about this the other day, that in music, the pauses between the notes are just as important as the notes themselves. And great musicians know how to work the space between the things. So I think when you go to nature, metaphorically, that's what you're doing. You're really you're stepping into that space that's in between the things that rule your life.
Mm. And I always talk about writers, the same thing. When you're writing, you give space, you give breath, you give pause, you allow people to catch up to the idea and marinate when you're writing. Congratulations, you're a best-selling author in Ignite book. Tell us a little bit about your story. I always love to share our guest Ignite moment. Was there something in your life that made resilience so important to you?
Absolutely. Without going too long, because we don't have a huge amount of time, but basically I had a wonderful business that was about to blow up, and I was going to turn 50 the next year, 2 kids. And I was like, this is not a good situation. I'd had some good businesses. I've had other business failures. And I'm like, at this stage in life, this can really take me under. And I'd been a Wim Hof practitioner, and I went to Poland with Wim. And on the 4th day, I was standing on the top of this mountain at minus 25 degrees Celsius in shorts, feeling warm. And I was like, how can this be? And suddenly I realized, wait a second, cold is a physical reality, but we were trained to interpret the information that comes through thermal sensors in the skin and rewrite the meaning of the cold. So with this business that was about to fail, I said, I'm going to turn the closure of this business into the biggest success ever. The most elegant, the most honorable, the most beautiful business closure. And with that reframe, I went back, and it was not easy, but it was an amazing experience. And then that just got me thinking, what else can this be applied to? It's just a shift of the perspective of not getting trapped in what might be the default response to something. And I learned it in this extreme environment. And suddenly that made me realize, oh my God, there is so much power, untapped power in our brains and in our bodies that if we learn how to harness them, they can make our lives so much more rewarding, so much more fulfilling. And that was sort of the little seed that then has blossomed into this resilient leadership thinking and philosophy and way of living and doing.
It's so inspiring. I know that we live on other ends of the world, but I do see you on Facebook and I do see the fun things you're doing. I remember when you were doing the splits challenge and you were challenging yourself to be able to do the splits. Did you succeed at that one?
I've got this much to go.
And I know you were climbing. Did you actually climb and make it to the top of the mountain?
Oh, I mean, I did Kilimanjaro in 2019, and then this March I went with a group with some friends on a beta test for a retreat that I want to do in the future in Tenerife that was built around the four elements. And this was extreme activities in the four elements, which was paragliding for the air, a sea to summit trek for 2.5 days from the ocean to 3,700 meters, the top of the volcano there, that was just spectacular. Then we did a free diving course for the water activity, and then a 3.5 hour sweat lodge Temazcal experience. And the whole idea was to put yourself in environments where your nervous system is physically challenged. And how do you then regain it and shift it?
And it's so powerful to just connect with your body in that way and just really know what you're capable of, because we are actually capable of so much more than we tell ourselves or people tell us. I love that. Next time you do that, invite me, because I would love to join that. I love putting myself in extreme conditions. I love challenging myself and pushing myself because it's so good to see what you're capable of, and it empowers you for more. Obviously helps in your life, in your family, in your business, and gives you the capacity to give more with humanity. We have a humanity principle. It's called empower self to empower others so that they can empower themselves. I know that you probably truly resonate with that principle, that we don't give people fishes, we teach them to fish. We don't tell people to be resilient, we show them how. Just as we wrap up, is there anything you would love for people to know about how they can empower themselves, which will empower others to empower themselves?
Adopt a very simple belief. And to me, the metaphor is Michelangelo and this big piece of marble that he carved, the David. He looked at the marble and said, there is a David inside, and my job is to get rid of everything that is not David. So if you can adopt that belief that you have absolutely everything you need to accomplish anything and everything that you want in all aspects of your life, your job is just to get rid of the things that are getting in the way. You're not missing anything. You just need to free it, open it up. And that belief is very empowering because it's already in you. Give yourself permission to let that come out.
And I do this show because I love listening to leaders and mentors like you, because I just take it all in too. So I love it. Any great words of advice for JB's community, the Ignite community, humanity in general? Because I just love what you just shared. I was like taking that in personally.
I would just say, come back to the breath always for everything. It is the magic bullet to give us mastery at a mental, physical, and emotional level.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Well said. Well, we're going to put up Stephen's information where you can reach him and find out more about what he's doing. He's an incredible individual making great impact and igniting lives in the resilient space. Thanks, Stephen, so much for being here. Hugs to your wife and family. I can't wait to be in Portugal and hug you and see you and see you do the splits and do some excitement together, and just power up our resilience. Blessings.
Thank you. And big hug and love to everybody there, and Peter and the gang and the community. And thank you for everything that you're doing. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. You got it. Take care. See, folks, you can do it. You just have to decide to take your breath, get connected, and find the resilient part of you, because you have the power and the ability to achieve it all. And, I love to tell people the fun is in the process. It's the experience. It's the adventure. As Stephen said, it's getting there. It's doing it. It's learning it. It's not always about the finish line. It's about really experiencing who you are and what you're capable of and what you can do to get there. And then just really understanding your own connection to yourself, to the universe, to your spirit, to your breath. All of that empowers you in ways that are absolutely going to ignite you and ignite humanity. Well, if you want to know more about what we're up to, check out our website because we've got lots of things to share. We're doing a documentary, a docuseries, and we are aiming to do the largest compilation book ever called Ignite Humanity. We'd love for you to have your story. Go to our website and you can check out how to be a part of one of our books at Ignite Life, igniteyou.life, where you can find out more about our books and ways for you to write one of your Ignite moments. If you would like to watch this episode or one of our previous episodes, we've got it all on our platform. You can definitely go there. We are igniting the lives of children, and that's important to us. At the end of May, we'll be going to Indonesia to build our Classrooms of Hope, our Ignite Possibility Classroom of Hope, and our Ignite Possibilities Classroom of Hope. If you would like to be a part of that or ignite the lives of children, you can always donate to our charity. We are building schools one brick at a time, and every one of those bricks are used by plastic pulled out of the landfills to create these wonderful blocks that are fit together to make these beautiful schools, and you can donate to that. Well, we always have fun things happening at Ignite Humanity, and we want you to be a part of it. We want to hear from you. So if you would like to tell us what you're up to, fill out our type form, and then you can share how you are igniting humanity, and we would love to have you on the show. Big things are happening in the world, and you get to be a part of them. It's exciting, the opportunities that you have, and we want you to make sure that your life is filled with the power of humanity. We want to inspire you in so many different ways. Today is a big day for a lot of people in the Ignite community because we are always launching Ignite books. We have a new book coming out called Ignite Your Faith. You can also go to our website and check out that. And, well, of course, we know that Mother's Day just passed, but we do have another program. If you would just love to buy somebody a bouquet of virtual flowers, we have something called the Bouquets of Hope, and every single dollar of the $12 for a bouquet of hope goes towards our schools. So you could check out that opportunity also and be a part of igniting somebody's life by sending them a virtual bouquet of flowers and letting them know that every single dollar goes towards building our schools. Well, we hope you have a great day today. Go out and do something special, have a little bit of resilience, and then take the time to just really breathe into you. Listen to that voice and get connected to what's most important to you. Go out and ignite your life and ignite the lives of others, because that, folks, is how we're going to ignite humanity. All right, big blessings. We're here Monday to Friday. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern on Ignite Humanity Live.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.